When world leaders meet, the handshakes, speeches, and photo ops often take center stage. But behind the velvet curtains and glittering banquets, there's another centuries-old ritual that captures the imagination: the exchange of gifts. From priceless artifacts and luxury goods to deeply symbolic tokens, diplomatic gifts have always carried meanings far beyond their material value. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So, when President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump paid their highly publicized state visit to Britain, all eyes weren't only on the gold carriage rides or glittering Windsor Castle banquet. They were also on what the King and Queen would present to America's first couple, and, of course, what Trump would hand over in return. The result was an opulent parade of extravagant, unusual, and sometimes eyebrow-raising gifts that spoke volumes about history, power, and image. This is the story of all the gifts the King and Queen exchanged with Trump, and the deeper meaning behind them. The royal tradition of gifting. Royal gift-giving isn't a casual affair. Every item is carefully chosen, not only for its beauty but also for its symbolism. A sovereign might present a book to show shared intellectual history, a piece of local craftsmanship to honor national identity, or an artifact that gestures toward friendship. For Trump's visit, the palace courtiers went into overdrive. This wasn't just about pleasing an American president, it was about making a statement that Britain, even in the throes of political turbulence, remained steeped in pageantry, tradition, and cultural power. And Trump, who has always prided himself on the art of the deal and on putting his personal stamp on every encounter, came ready to reciprocate with his own version of luxury, America style. The King's opening gesture, a jewel from the royal vaults. At Windsor, King Charles began the exchange with what many royal watchers described as a breathtaking moment of symbolism. Trump was presented with a rare silver and enamel box commissioned in the 1800s, once used to house royal correspondence. Its lid was set with a miniature hand-painted portrait of Windsor Castle itself, surrounded by a border of seed pearls. The choice was clever. Windsor Castle wasn't just the backdrop of the visit, it symbolized endurance and majesty. Giving Trump a piece featuring the castle tied him directly to Britain's legacy of power. Reportedly, the box was worth hundreds of thousands of pounds, though its true value lay in its history. Trump, visibly pleased, turned the gift over in his hands and called it beautiful, really beautiful, before promising, "We'll take very good care of this." Melania's royal surprise, a diamond set brooch. While the King's gift dazzled, Queen Camilla offered something more intimate for Melania. A diamond set brooch in the shape of a Tudor rose, designed by one of Britain's leading jewelers. The Tudor rose is England's traditional floral emblem, signifying unity after a time of division, perhaps a subtle nod to both nations' often tumultuous politics. The brooch, small but magnificent, was delivered in a velvet-lined case, stamped with the royal crest. Melania, elegant as ever in Dior, pinned it discreetly to her gown later in the evening. Observers whispered that the gesture showed how the Queen, known for her understated taste, was acknowledging Melania not just as a guest, but as a fellow figure of style. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. AMR. Trump's turn. The Gilded Eagle. Of course, Trump had not arrived empty-handed. Ever keen on grandeur, his gift to King Charles was nothing short of theatrical, a solid gold American eagle sculpture perched atop a block of crystal, its wings outstretched as though taking flight. Made by a luxury New York artisan, the eagle carried a plaque engraved with the words "Strength through Friendship, United States and United Kingdom." While critics called it gaudy, Trump defended it as pure American craftsmanship, the best you'll ever see. Royal aides later admitted that while the king might have preferred something with more historical resonance, the sheer boldness of the eagle had its own impact. It was Trump's way of saying, "America soars, and we're bringing you along for the ride." Melania's American tribute. Melania's gift for Queen Camilla was softer, but no less meaningful. She presented her with a custom leather-bound edition of Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, one of America's most cherished poets. The volume had been rebound in cream calfskin with gold tooling and came in an oak presentation box crafted from wood taken from a tree at George Washington's Mount Vernon estate. For a first lady often dismissed as reserved, this choice stunned many. It suggested Melania had taken time to choose something with depth, grace, and intellectual weight. An American cultural treasure wrapped in historical symbolism. Camilla, herself a lover of literature, reportedly spent part of the next morning leafing through the gift in private. The banquet table surprise. But the gifts didn't end in the drawing rooms. During the state banquet, another surprise was unveiled, a handmade set of Wedgwood porcelain tableware, commissioned by the King for Trump. The design featured intertwined British and American flags painted in cobalt blue and gold, with each plate subtly inscribed with the motto, Partnership and Progress. The set, numbering 24 pieces, was valued in the tens of thousands. More importantly, it echoed royal tradition. Wedgwood has supplied the monarchy with ceramics since the 18th century. By gifting it, Charles tied Trump not only to the present but to centuries of royal hospitality. Trump, visibly delighted, joked that the set would look fantastic at Mar-a-Lago. The line drew laughter, though some observers noted a flicker of unease on the king's face. The gift of horses. Perhaps the most surprising gesture came the following day at the Royal Mews. In an echo of past state visits, the king offered Trump and Melania 2 ceremonial harnesses, custom-made by Britain's master saddlers, and a framed portrait of the late Queen Elizabeth II with her favorite horses. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The symbolism was poignant. Horses have long been central to the monarchy's image, and gifting saddlery linked Trump to that tradition of pomp and pageantry. The portrait, meanwhile, was a reminder of continuity, that even in her absence, Elizabeth's spirit of diplomacy lived on. Trump, though not known as a horseman, praised the craftsmanship and remarked, "Maybe we'll start polo in Palm Beach." Trump's return fire. The towering clock. On their final day, Trump revealed what might have been his most extravagant gesture. A 6-foot-tall custom grandfather clock, gilded in 24-karat gold leaf, with the Trump family crest engraved at its base. The clock, crafted by an American luxury house, was designed to chime with a digital melody of God Bless America. Delivered straight to Buckingham Palace, it left courtiers scrambling to decide where it could possibly be placed. Some insiders whispered it was less a gift and more a monument to Trump's own ego. Still, Charles reportedly accepted it with grace, thanking Trump for his generosity and thoughtfulness. Symbolism or spectacle? Every gift in this exchange told its own story. The royal gifts were steeped in history and national symbolism, artifacts that carried whispers of tradition, heritage, and refinement. Trump's offerings, meanwhile, embodied American flash and bravado, bold, oversized, and unmistakably tied to his persona. Critics noted the contrast. Britain gave items of cultural significance, while Trump favored spectacle. But in many ways, that contrast perfectly captured the character of the visit. It wasn't about blending styles, it was about showing each nation's identity in its rawest form. The lasting legacy. Years later, those gifts remain lodged in the archives of both nations. The royal boxes and brooches reside in carefully guarded palace vaults. Trump's golden eagle gleams in Windsor's storage halls, occasionally dusted off for curious eyes. Melania's Whitman volume, according to one royal librarian, remains a cherished addition to Camilla's private collection. As for the clock, rumor has it the towering timepiece was discreetly moved to a less trafficked corridor, its golden gleam muted in the dim palace light. But beyond the objects themselves, what matters is the message they conveyed. They were tokens of friendship, yes, but also of identity, pride, and power. Each gift was a statement, a performance in miniature, reflecting the drama of the visit itself. In the end, the extravagance wasn't in the jewels or gold or porcelain. It was in the spectacle of two very different worlds colliding, one steeped in centuries of tradition, the other blaring with modern showmanship and finding, however awkwardly, common ground in the age-old ritual of giving. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.